Well, apparently the National Enquirer reportedly kept a safe containing documents on hush money payments, other damaging stories. It killed because of a close relationship with Donald Trump leading up to the 2016 presidential election. I don't know what's true there. The whole idea of a safe containing this information, that seems so Al Capone-ish. Anyway, Michael Damaris here. Michael just knows this stuff inside and out. He's our top big gun at marketing and all of that. And I'm wondering, you know...
I know what's in the vault, Neil. The Cavuto file is vast.
Does it? Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah.
I'm going to do what the president should do, and we were talking about this. I'm going to come clean and say, I was young and I needed the money, okay? A little act of contrition. Just get it out there.
But obviously now, you hear that as I'm talking. They have these stories. What's the expression again when they pay for a story?
Catch and kill.
And do a lot of people, a lot of publishers...
Well, AMI, which is the owner of the National Enquirer, and they own practically every tabloid out there with the exception of People magazine. This is sort of their thing. And look, they do this a lot in Hollywood. They buy the rights for people's lives and stories, and then they just put them in the drawer.
Now, when they do a catch and kill story, the cynical view here was that very close to Donald Trump, don't want to do anything to embarrass Donald Trump, so just table it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the theory. And look, the National Enquirer, this is the first candidate they have ever endorsed for president. And 30% of their covers during 2016 were either pro-Trump or anti-Hillary. You know, a lot of people are sort of talking about the Facebook effect in this election. You know, the National Enquirer had an impact, and it's sort of a little bit more insidious than Facebook when you sort of think about it. You don't have to click or actually have to buy the magazine, but millions of people, you know, going through checkout lines, look to the left and see Hillary's being indicted, and it registers an impression. It makes an impression on them.
So what do you read about editors granted immunity? Mm-hmm. We're still not sure the time he was granted immunity, but he must have something or offered something that would allow him to be granted immunity.
The thinking is one assumes that they have something in this vault that could implicate Trump in a bigger crime, per se. But at this point, I don't think
But you have to be expecting, if you're these guys, that some harm or punishment or charge or indictment is coming my way if I don't do something like this. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's nothing... Maybe immunity is a way just to take that off the table, that possibility.
Well, at this point, what could we possibly find out that's going to hurt this president politically? I mean, it's not going to hurt his base. I mean, after that Access Hollywood thing,
but even the checks to these two women, you know, weeks before the election, you could argue, well, what did he have to worry about? He had survived the fallout from that, so anything was...
The American people rendered their verdict on Election Day, and he got 305 electoral votes.
No, we didn't know that at the time. We didn't know that at the time.
With Access Hollywood, we did.
We did. But, no, but you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe they were just being extra cautious and all this, but in the case of the National Enquirer killing a story or whatever... Do you know of others in the entertainment industry, let's say because stars get a little upset, they hear that a publication say something nasty about them, that they, by their own admission, cancel it because they want to maintain good relations?
Well, look, the Wall Street Journal, I think, reported that the National Enquirer did this with Governor Schwarzenegger at the time. There was a story about his love child, and they caught and killed it, and they got him to cooperate with some of their other publications, their fitness publications.
Right. So where do you think this goes?
You know, we don't know. Every day, you know, Mueller's been so calculating about this and dropping a different card every day. Today we heard about Trump's CFO. I think the president should come out and just act of contrition or penance, harking back to my Catholic school days. And the American people are incredibly forgiving, and it would take all the oxygen out of this.
But what would he have to say? He's already acknowledged that he was behind the checks that went out to these women. I mean, unless there's something more heinous or whatever, not necessarily depending on who you talk to that's heinous, but you have to think down the road for those who want to go toward impeachment, what here would warrant it?
You know, and I just have one other question about this whole thing as we're sort of making our way through it. Well, no, it's a broader question, you know, Cavuto. You know, at one point, the National Enquirer, you know, for the most part, if you hear that someone bought a story, right away, the credibility of that story is taken into, is in doubt.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, we're assuming that all these stories are true.
That's right.
It's sort of an interesting place we're at right now in all this.
Well, you're not questioning the 8-foot aliens and all the others.
I'm all in on the 8-foot aliens and Bigfoot.
All right.
And I just saw Elvis at lunch. He says hello.
He says hello. That would be a killer. There's nothing in the vault. There's nothing there. This guy just did it as an insurance policy to protect himself. Michael, you're the best.
Neil, thank you.
Michael's always in a good mood, too. That makes me very, very
That's my
nervous.
favorite Cavuto. You know what I'm going to say.
He's never down.
And only for you, Neil. It's a Friday in the summer.
Here we go.
Clooney awaits me in the Hamptons.
Is that
but
right?
I said, no, Cavuto needs me. Save me a lobster roll. I'll be out in an hour.
All right.